don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.
Hey everybody, this is Nick Mayhew, 3-time gold medalist and 3-time world record holder, and you're listening to Power 98.5.
You're listening to Power 98.5, powered by United Angels Dream, your #1 resource for public relations, entertainment, and multimedia. Contact them today at unitedangelsdream.com.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Hey everybody, it's the Impractical Jokers, and we're announcing brand new cities on the Drive tour. Q!
It's going to be so much fun. We haven't been on tour in a while. It's a brand new show. We can't wait to see you. Sal! Just go to impracticaljokerslive.com for tickets. We need to stop sharing the bathroom together.
16 years of age or older suggested to attend.
Drive.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and you heard it. Impractical Jokers, they've got their Drive tour. You can head on over to impracticaljokerslive.com. Get your tickets. This is a extraordinary. Yeah, I know you guys want to. Yeah, some cocktails and some great laughs, and it's exciting. I've got to pull up the list here. Everyone knows this is outstanding. We get a great turnout on my show. You're listening to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio. I have a strong belief that we've got a lot of new listeners that have found out that Brian's coming on today. Whether you're listening on the iOS or Android app, Alexa, or even on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio, power985.com. Send us your questions. If you have any questions for Brian, comments, if you want to do a shout out or love, just click that bottom right-hand icon. And, my team and I will get it. We'll share it. Please, I'm not worried about appropriate or not appropriate. It's like... I just want you to be you, but definitely have it be loving, because there's no hate. There's no way anyone can hate Brian. They've got their Drive tour. I hope I didn't fuck that up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives coming up, starting on January 28th, Saturday, starting in Reading, Pennsylvania. Thursday, February 2nd, Pittsburgh. Then you've got February 3rd in Camden, New Jersey, my home state. Then they're off to Boston. They've got Washington, Newark, Belmont, Seattle, Portland, Denver. I used to live there. Don't miss the weather, though. Columbus, Des Moines, Kansas City, Nashville. Yet have got to go there. Everyone keeps telling me. ImpracticalJokersLive.com. Get your tickets. We're going to re-air this show. I'm going to either see about Brian helping us out and doing a separate little promo. We'll have that, air stream on Power 98.5, or if we'll take a clip from here. I'm excited. A friend of mine turned me on to this show. We watch it. I'm going to say it is fun. It's funny and outstanding, in general. I'm loving, I believe it was the last I saw was season 9. I think like Brooke Shields was in that. That's honestly my favorite series. All of the seasons are great. This most last one, I'll admit, I had some vodka and cranberries. I've watched it sober. I've watched the series tipsy, not drunk. I'm going to be honest. If I've ever watched it drunk, but I haven't. But yeah, it's incredible. So in short, They have their milestone season 10 returning February 9th, which is now being simulcasted across both truTV and TBS. The new season features a star-studded roster of celebrity guests, including John Mayer, Post Malone, Bret Michaels, Anthony Davis, to name a few. They are also hitting the road again, the first time in 3 years, for their Drive tour, kicking off this weekend on January 28th. The tour will hit 30 cities, 30 city arenas nationwide. Big shout out to Carson, Brian's rep. Thank you for sending that over. Also, about Impractical Jokers, just in case if you have not heard of this show, or if you heard of it and weren't too sure of, hey, Brian's going to fill you in all about it. We're going to know all about Brian Quinn, his other friends and cast members. It's all about Brian Quinn, James Murray, and Sal Vulcano are the creators, executive producers, and stars of truTV's hit series, Impractical Jokers. It is a hidden camera comedy show that follows Q, Murr, and Sal as they compete to embarrass each other amongst the general public with a series of hilarious and outrageous dares. Why I'm chuckling is because I already have scenes of the show going on through my head, especially when they were at the deli sticking clothespin clips on this old guy who was at the meat section. We're going to get it from Brian himself to talk more about why Impractical Jokers. He also has a cat. I want to find out more about his babies, his family. I told him this morning I used to work as a vet tech when I was going to college for a no-kill animal shelter. I actually had 3 jobs. I worked as a massage therapist, a bartender for private events, and 4 jobs: a grief counselor, and I worked for Dr. Blease at a no-kill animal shelter. So I'm very familiar with animals, what they're able to do, capable of doing. They've got a mind of their own. They're more intelligent and more reasonable and sensible than humans at times, and I highly respect them. Without further, we're not going to wait any longer. Brian, good morning. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. That's very nice of you.
I'm a bit stumped, and not stumped in a bad way. I've got it together. I was getting text message and some calls, and people were like, you actually have Brian coming on to the show. And I was like, yeah, like it wasn't a question as to why I'm having you on a show. People get shocked over certain things, just like the game. I'm not going to say I'm a sports fanatic, Brian, but I do like competition. I am into MMA. I like MMA, boxing.
Oh yeah, you're into Sal watches that stuff, and I always hate seeing people get hurt. It's like I like professional wrestling, and I know that they are really doing some crazy stuff, and they get hurt all the time. But there's something to MMA that, like, I don't know, man. Like, I just watching people just bash each other's face in. I get nervous. I'm like turning into my mother.
So you would never attend one? Would you ever attend a live boxing or MMA match?
Oh yeah, I've been to live. Please, my feet are made of clay. If somebody calls me up and be like, "I got tickets to a show tonight," I'm going. Like, I'm not better than anybody. I'll go and watch people beat the crap out of each other. But I always get get nervous about how nervous I get. I don't know. I think the older I get, the more I'm like, I just don't want to see people get hurt. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And, they go into these sports, whether it's hockey or football, you never know if they're going to come out the same. And that's what I really respect, Brian, is that these are people that put all their faith, all their trust into themselves, into their physical fitness, into their body, into their training, to go out there and to make a living to make a future for themselves and their families and everything else that they have going for them. And it's not like a regular job. And I highly respect the fact to where it's all about self-trust and endurance and perseverance to win that gold, win that medal, help your team to win that game. That's what I really love most about it.
Yeah, it is. So I see what you mean. I mean, look, the way you just put it was poetically. You know what I mean? Like, that's nice. You would hope that everybody has that that thing. There is something to it. There is something to it. I don't know. The way you put it made it sound much sweeter than I've ever thought about it.
No,
yeah,
I appreciate that. Where I was about to go is, most recently, everyone knows Dallas Cowboys 49ers played, and I shared online and I said, I'm not going to tell anybody who I'm rooting for to win, because I said we all know how competitive people are, and if you're not rooting for their team, they'll throw dog shit at you. And I was like, I didn't say anything. Then someone said, I'm rooting for I wanted to see who was going to bite. And someone then replied back and said, I'm rooting for the 49ers. And I said, you know what? So am I. I said, the reason why is because I'm supporting my friends and family who are 49ers, lovers and everything. And even though there wasn't a response back from anyone else, it was just nice, because I'm a very private person, Brian. And that's where most people, even where some people are like, oh my God, you have Brian on a show. I don't tell everyone everything. And only certain people in my life have different parts of Steven that they know personally and privately, that it would need to take all of them to put them all together in a room to find out who I really am. But even so, I still have my own secrets that no one else knows about.
Yeah, you got it, right? That's part of the human experience. It'd be funny if we all laid our secrets bare. I bet you we would find out that we're like all 90% the same person.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think the things that really matter to the human experience, the fears, the anxieties, the loves, the hopes, I think we all just feel the same thing all the time. Like, me being in traffic in New York City is no different from somebody being in traffic in Albuquerque. Like, we all hate it. I just think the human experience is so similar for everybody that it's kind of a weird thing, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true. And that's where, eventually down the line, what brings everyone together and why I picked you and wanted you on is what I really feel. We don't know each other that deep personally. As I'm getting to know you, on the show, and from what I've, gathered from what Carson sent over and what I know of from reading and such, you're 46. You don't look 46. You look really darn incredible for 46 years old.
Oh, thank you.
We know you're a man. You love cats. You got your babies.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. I recently lost Benjamin Cat, my sweet boy. I lost him about 4 months ago. I'm still grappling with that, but yeah, I still have my other cats as well, though. Yes,
I remember from the show. Is that one the black one? You were in a closet. Yes. That's the black one.
Yeah, that's fun. It's been 4 months, and if I talk about it too much, I'll still start crying. But yeah, he was my best friend in the world. Like, I just love that cat so much. And he was like you and I were talking before we got on the air about how smart animals are. And there's a range, like we were just talking about it, how like some animals are smart and some animals are dumb. And like, they're all, they're like humans. I know smart humans. I know doofy humans. Benjamin Cat was on the high end of intelligence, where he was like more of a person than a cat to me. And I know people are listening to this being like, well, this guy sounds like a crackpot. But yeah, so yeah, I lost him, the black cat that was on the show. I talk a little bit about it on stage in the new tour, but not too much, because I don't want to bring everybody down,
No, well, Sherry from Staten Island says, I've got 6 cats and I prefer my cats over my husband.
All right. So she gets it.
She gets it. Thank you, Sherry. why animals? Like, honestly, Brian, providing you're comfortable to share, what drew you to having animals, and have they always worked not better? Like, what is the difference between having an animal and your friendships and relationships? What have you learned within the 46 years of your life about who you are as a person, independent, behind the scenes, in your personal space? Who is Brian that we don't know or we don't see on the show?
Oh man, I mean, how do you answer that? I mean, I have always had this not weird. I think a lot of people have it, like this connection with animals. Even as a kid, like my parents thought I was going to grow up to be a zookeeper, because like I can't walk past a dog without burying my face in its fur, and a baby, like goats of all sizes, just win me over. There's something about it. Can't just be the cuteness. It's got to be something else. I just connect with animals in a way, maybe too much, and maybe it's me projecting what I wish people were like onto animals. But I just know, like, living with my cats, like, to me, they're people. They're just people. I know their quirks. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. I know, you know what I mean? It's like, what is the difference between them and me? Like, do humans have souls? Do animals? All this stuff that you can just worry about. But at the end of the day, they're just so cute. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're just so cute and non-demanding. Although even when they're demanding, they're so cute. Because Benjamin, towards the end, he was a very sick cat. He was old. He was 20 years old when he went, and he needed, like, sometimes he needed his butt wiped, and he needed fluids at least 3 times a week, and he needed special food, and it was like running an old age home. It was like a cat hospital, and I loved every second of it, because it meant that he was still with me, and I was still doing everything I can to make his life better. And that was important to me.
What I see and what I hear is you're intuitive, you're empathic, whether, I'm not too sure about how you may let other people know or what you do to tap into that intuition, because animals and humans are very much alike. We're all empathic, we're all intuitive. It's just depending on priorities and what people are looking for and what matters to them most. That's what's going to make the difference as to where and what and how a person lives their life. It's all about environment. For you, I really feel that and believe, especially knowing people and what I've learned and had learned as a vet technician and working in a no-kill animal shelter with Dr. Blease, is that most people who have cats they have a balance of knowing where to be independent and recluse and how to get back to that downtime and to check in with self, compared to people with dogs are somewhat the same. But someone like yourself, a person that really loves cats, really just tend to understand human nature and life and people better than at times people who have dogs or people who don't have animals at all. So that's how I see you, as more of a higher person with intellect and emotion and intuition than most other people.
Well, I mean, that is something that's never been said to me before, and I'll take it, my friend. Thank you very much. Most people just look at me like, he's a crazy cat guy. What are you gonna do? But to be clear, like, I love dogs. Like, I would have a dog if I could. I just travel so much and I'm not around. But yeah, I just love it. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you. I'm a little taken back by that. People don't often say nice things to me. My job is getting, pushed around and stuff like that. So it's nice. It's nice to hear these things.
to ask, and here's the thing, because I don't BS, and I'm going to be 49 this April. I'm actually older than you.
Oh man, I mean, you're older than me by like a year, because I turned 47 in March. But like, once we hit this age, I think we're all in the same boat.
We are, but I'm looking at all of your stuff here that my team has in front of me, and I'm like, dang. Well, we look not only great for being Gen X, but at the same time, when I watched the show, and I believe it was season 9 that had Brooke Shields and everybody in it, right? I believe it was.
Yeah, it was the second half of season 9. We started having guests, right? And that Brooke episode is, I mean, to me, she came in and blew us all away. Like, you don't expect Brooke Shields to be that funny. And she threw herself in. Like, to have Brooke Shields, who's an American icon, she came in and said, I will do whatever you guys want me to do. I don't want to be like the Brooke. She said these words. She goes, I don't want to be Brooke Shields. I want to be part of your world. And she denied nothing. Everything we wanted to do, she did. It was such an amazing show of humility on her part and like just eagerness and fun. Like, she really, but I mean, man, I really thought that episode was when we really started clicking with these guests, where we knew everything we had to do and the type of people we want to work with. A lot of that was from working with Brooke, because she was just amazing. Amazing.
Season 10 is coming up. Compared to all the other seasons, Brian, and I'm going to pull it up now and find out, like, we see a lot, like Warner Brothers, TV Insider, like, people are covering the show. They're out there, they're talking about you. They're sharing their thoughts. What I like most, and where I'm very appreciative, and I want to say honestly thank you for this, because the other reason why I have the station, why I'm loving this show, it brings people together like us. Also, at the same time, it's everything and anything when it comes to Impractical Jokers or what people are doing, it should come from you, not third party, not a media or website going out there. That's great if they're giving you guys reviews, good reviews and everything. From your perspective, this is your show. You are on this show. What do you have to say about this show? Why Impractical Jokers? And what would you like to set the record straight on if anyone is contriving or misinterpreting all of you guys and what this show is about? What would you like to clear the air with as to why the show is really, I believe, more successful than what the media is putting out there, and that there is even more potential, just like you said with Brooke Shields, to where it gives opportunity for you guys to grow and to expand, but also an opportunity for other people like Brooke Shields to do things that they may have never had thought to do, or even a couple decades ago, their representatives would probably have said, abso-fucking-lutely not. But it is the right time to do it, to be part of it, to watch it, and even with your drive tour coming up, tell us more. Break the seal, clear the air.
Well, there's not a lot. Like, we kind of, I mean, here's the thing about our show, and this is an interesting thing. I'm friends, my mentor, really, a guy I've known since I was 19 years old, a man named Scott Mosier. And Scott, he produced the early Kevin Smith movies, Clerks and Mallrats, and he directed that Grinch animated movie. He is one of the most brilliant men I've ever met. Like I said, like a true mentor. And around the time that Impractical Jokers was really hitting its stride with the audience, like around 3 and 4, I noticed an uptick in people saying, oh my God, I love this show. And then after that came the celebrities who would reach out and be like, oh my God, I love the show. You guys are great. But we never really got a pass from the tastemakers. We've been on the air 10 seasons now, which is almost unheard of. We've never been on the cover of like Entertainment Weekly or Variety. Like we don't get the write-ups that other shows get. And that's fine. I understand that. I remember expressing that to Mosier, and he said, you're on the path that you should be on. Because if you spike, he goes, let's just say tomorrow everybody started writing about this show. He goes, you spike. He goes, and then after that, it's just a downhill. He goes, if you just keep doing this climb and doing what you're doing, you're going to be able to do what you want, when you want, without worrying about how people are reacting. And the show will be able to organically change without outside influence. And it turned out all these years later, still never getting like a pass from the tastemakers or anything like that. I found that to be so true. And I think it's like an ego thing too, where you're like, look, you said, like, what it's like to be in your late 40s. Like, a lot of things don't matter as much anymore. You're starting to get that perspective of what's come behind and how little time you have ahead and what's important to you. So I don't know. In the end of the day, I think it's good that we've always had the support of the people who watch the show and the people who love that show over the support of, like, again, the editors of Entertainment Weekly or whoever would make us the it show of the moment. Like, I think it's kind of way better this way. I found, because we're still here. I've been here 10 years. We've been doing the show 12 years. You know what I mean? Like, look at like Broad City, right? Great show. Love Broad City. Came out after us, was immediately the bell of the ball, hit. You couldn't stop talking about it. Broad City was everywhere. Broad City's gone. You know what I mean? Like, we're still here. I don't know. There's something to the longevity of Impractical Jokers that I love. And I think it comes from all of the support and all of the success, not coming from the people who deem things successful, but coming from the people who watch and love the show. And I honestly think the reason people who watch the show love the show is because at the end of the day, all we are friends busting on our friends' chops. And that is universal. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. If you have a best friend, you love busting their chops. You just do, right? Like anybody prove me wrong. Anybody come out of the woodwork and tell me that you don't have a best friend that you like just ribbing with him and stuff like that. And that's what we do. And like, I don't know. It's like, I think people see that and they're like, oh man, these guys stole my show. I hear that all the time. These guys stole my show. I would make the show with my friends. If I had a nickel for every time some guy came up to me in a bar and was like, dude, you just make the show that me and my friends would make. Like, to me, that's a great compliment, and I love it. So I don't even know how I ended up on this side. There's nothing to clear the air about. Like, I'm so happy with the show. I think, Joe left the show at the middle of season 9. And those episodes, which you were very kindly saying in the beginning that you love watching them with the guests, like, some people didn't like those episodes. And if I had to clear the air about anything, it would be this. Look, we made those 9 episodes. I didn't know Joe was leaving the show. He kind of made the decision, then came to us, and we had to rebuild the entire show in 3 months and figure it out and get it going. Joe was a huge engine of the show. Like, he was huge. So it was this whole reevaluation of how we make the show and how we interact with each other. And now we're dealing with guests for the first time because we wanted to try that. So I think a lot of people saw those 9 episodes and was like, well, this doesn't feel like the Impractical Jokers that I know and have loved for 10 years. And, I would say to those people, like, yeah, because it kind of wasn't, because we were figuring it out. But I think anybody that starts watching season 10 is going to be like, holy shit, like, not only have these guys figured it out, but they figured out how to make Post Malone work on the show as that. And it was this thing of like, when Post Malone comes in, like, you can't engage him as Post Malone, the performer. It's only going to work if he comes in and he does what Brooke Shields does, which is come in and just be himself and have fun. And we kind of figured it out. We kind of were able to select the celebrity, because that's the other thing about the show. We didn't want to do what Saturday Night Live does, which is like, who's got something to promote, get them on the show. When we talked to the network about this new format, we were like, look, it's got to be only people that we want on the show. You might not want them network. You might not think that having like Bruce Campbell, are you familiar with Bruce Campbell?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, sure. He was in the Evil Dead movies and Army of Darkness, and he's been like a hero of mine my entire life. And I pitched him to the network, and they were like, well, this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, but you guys aren't listening. Like, we're getting Bruce Campbell. We got Bruce Campbell, and it's like one of the best things we've ever shot because it comes from us. You know what I mean? It comes from me, and they use Bruce Campbell against me on the show. And that's funny. That's what people would be doing to their friends if they had a TV show. And I think that's the important ingredient piece that we had to reconfigure when we put the show back together. Did I just talk too long, and did I say nonsense?
You are perfect for my show.
Okay, great.
Nothing nonsense. Great. That's what I was looking for, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little bit of a researcher, and some people, those that know me behind the scenes, that I've been watching a show and asking other people, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you watch the show? I received in my feedback over, I would say 98.6% of outstanding feedback. The smaller percent, and that's what I pay attention to most, it's not the large percent that makes a difference. It can take a fraction or one person to change and either make something absolutely extraordinary or make it a pile of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I asked, and, because I know that, when I first heard about you guys and started watching the show, I wanted to know, not that I cared about what the media was talking about, I just wanted to find out, what are other people saying from their interpretation, their subjective, maybe objective, give or take, thoughts on it. But I wanted to find out for myself. And I always look for ways, in my opinion, there is loopholes in everything, and you can always do a Yui with everything. Nothing is absolutely straight, and nothing is absolutely finite. And there were just some things to where, I'm going to be honest, I truly feel that you are on the right path. You guys are doing great. And I would say, I feel that it's so much more could be talked about and shared about, not out of sensationalism, Brian. I mean, as a fact to where you're so unscripted in such a way that when I watch and I take in you guys and your friendship, and when I watch these episodes, I feel that I'm watching like a Broadway show. I feel that I'm watching something that is well thought out and emotionally and mentally connected. It's not orchestrated. It's not manufactured to be so unrealistic. And probably also, I'm going to say, because we're all East Coast people, to where we do have a different way of how we connect and talk and engage with people, like you said, with friendships, that it makes sense. And I want more for you guys. I would like more for the show. And it's not about taking the show serious. People take the show serious. You've got your loyal fans, and you're getting new fans all the time. And from this new season coming up, probably hundreds of thousands or millions more. You guys deserve the respect that if someone doesn't have something positive to say, to keep their mouth shut, or watch the show with an open mind in a non-critical way, and then share your thoughts with the world. That's why I wanted to ask you that.
I see. I appreciate that, but I think you're asking a lot of people. You know what I mean? People. I don't think people will approach and practice. I don't know. A lot of people don't approach life that thoughtfully at all, even with their own family. So I wonder how many people are going to approach a silly hitting camera show with that same, level of thoughtfulness. But, the world would be a better place if people did that. But I don't expect that from people.
You don't have to, but I sure as heck would like to, because I'm in that position where I can.
Yeah, you're right.
When you're in a position of leadership like that, media and other, you Google me, you'll find out. Like that's the whole point. Whether it's representation or leadership, there is no such thing as in my world, setting a bar. I was raised by an Italian Sicilian family, and anything and everything, Brian, that was deemed or considered to be unrealistic, in my world, it was always realistic. And honestly, what I learned even from my family who adopted me, that what may seem far-fetched or, something you would only see in the movies, that was my reality growing up.
Well, that's nice. I like that. I mean, it sounds like you found people who, one, were very loving enough to bring you in if you were adopted, and then two, gave you that sounds like a very nice upbringing. I mean, obviously I don't know the story, but that sounds like a nice place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And thank you for that. And that's why I wanted to share that with you. 'Cause it's what I see. It's what I see in you guys. And like I said, I'm probably, partial, if that's the right word or way to say it, from one East Coast to another, and Gen X, you guys are heading in the right direction, larger than life. And I agree what you stated earlier. Your path, the momentum, everything is perfect. I'm not suggesting or saying anything should be pushed or forced ahead of time or in any direction. I just know one day that you ever end up on People magazine, or you end up, you guys, or you as an individual, You are going to have earned it, but at the same time, you don't need that because there's so many new opportunities and people and collaborators, and the millennials and Gen Zs are doing such great things to where I believe that they are going to be huge fans of Impractical Jokers and you guys in the future, because if there's anything that we need most, we've always needed it. You know how we grew up in our generation. If ever now is community and a really, really genuine laugh and excitement and fun. And that's what you guys give us.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's what we have when we're making it. So, you know, if that comes through and we're able to do that, it's really our pleasure and really, you know, quite an honor. You know, we say it all the time. We still say it to each other all the time. Like, we got off stage last night. We were doing some warm-up shows for it. And Sal does this bit from the TV show on stage. And he goes, we got off stage and he looks at me. He goes, I'm a 46-year-old man and I'm getting paid to do this. And I was like, I know, dude. It's even when it's hard, even when it's heartbreaking, even when it's disappointing, like, there's never not that feeling of like, I can't believe we get to do this and have a blast. And the crew of the TV show, I always try to mention them in every interview because there is no Impractical Jokers without the crew. And I don't mean that in the way of like we need someone to turn on the cameras and the lights and stuff like that. I mean, so much of the show is informed of our friendship with the crew. And if you watch the show over the years, you get to know the crew. You get to know members of the crew because we have to get them on camera. Because it's weird to make a show with your best friends and have some of your best friends be 2 feet away off camera and not put them on. It's impossible. So really, you know what I mean? It's really just been like the gift of a lifetime. Whatever happens, like, it's just been the gift of a lifetime. So it's really it's really been something very special and for us. So if that comes through, great. That makes me happy. I hope everybody gets to feel this way.
It's true. And it does come, you know, it comes through for me. It comes through to the people that I know that watch your show. And just as a friend had introduced me to you guys in your show, I've done that for others. And it's amazing to where they're like, oh, hey, Steve, did you watch this? Or, hey, Steve, I just caught up on this season. And it's working. And it's working in a way to where your machine, your operation, your show is very well oiled, and 10 seasons and going, and there's going to be a lot more.
I hope so. I love doing it. You know, I love doing it. I'll do it until they show me the door. You know, over 10 years, I've had different relationships with the show. There have been times where you're like, oh my God, like I just need to rest because it's an intense show to make. But I don't know, man. I always get to the end of the season and I'm always tired of making the show. And then the day after we wrap, I'm like, oh man, I wonder what Dan Cass, who's our AD, like is up to and stuff like that. So it's like, I will just do it until they shuffle. I mean, look, Betty White had that show where it was a hidden camera show with old people, right? And it was called Off Their Rockers, and it was senior citizens doing like hidden camera stuff. I'm happy to just transition right into that. That would be wonderful for me. So I'm fine. I truly do love making the show and stuff like that. So hopefully we get to keep doing it.
I know you will.
But thank you.
We know it's the truth. Come on, Brian. There's no way you ain't stopping now. The way the show's going, no.
Why don't you never know, because like we usually when we wrap a season, we know when there's another season coming. But we know, we'll see you guys in a few months. We'll be back. This is the first time we've wrapped and not known if there's a season 11. And it's only because of all the changes at Warner Brothers Discovery and stuff like that, and all the shifting, people that work there and are moving on to other positions. The whole company's in flux and turmoil, so they haven't gotten around to being like, hey, you guys are getting season 11. So it was weird. Like when we wrapped this year, it was like, is this series wrap? So we just went out and we got hammered. Us and the crew, we just went out and like had a party. It was really kind of special.
Jason Marshall from Long Island. He wants to give a shout out to you, Brian.
Hello.
and he's asking, wanting to know more. He wants to attend the show. So just to let you know, they will be in Camden, New Jersey on Friday, February 3rd, and Newark on March 10th. And I'm looking here, anything else in the local area. What you can do is go to impracticaljokerslive.com, and I'm going to take a quick moment, and we're going to play this clip from their Twitter.
Hey, we're the Impractical Jokers, and we're adding brand new cities to the Drive Tour.
Tickets go on sale December 9th. You can go to impracticaljokerslive.com.
Here's where we're coming. Salt Lake City, Utah. Denver, Colorado. Arlington, Texas. Austin, Texas. Sugar Land, Texas. Columbus, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio. Detroit, Michigan. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Des Moines, Iowa. Kansas City, Missouri. Nashville, Tennessee. Indianapolis, Indiana. And St. Louis, Missouri. And maybe even more after that.
16 years of age or older suggested to attend.
Tell us more about this, Brian, the Drive Tour.
The Drive, okay, so we do this live show, obviously, and it's like kind of our version of stand-up, and it's all of us on stage at one time, and we're telling, because obviously we can't do a hidden camera show on stage. That just doesn't work. But we try to take the spirit of the show, which is just like the friendship and the hanging out and the ball busting and all that stuff, and put it on stage. And so we do. It's kind of like our version of stand-up. We show clips that we cut from the show, because, like, you know, we will shoot for 8 hours and ultimately 4 minutes make it on TV. There's tons of stuff that we wish people could see. There's crazy stuff. There's funny stuff. There's like sometimes we'll just say like crazy shit to make each other laugh. You know what I mean? So it's like none of that stuff will get on the air ever. So we've decided to start showing a little bit of that on stage, you know, and letting people into like what it's like when we're making the show just for us sometimes. And it's fun. Like it's a blast, man. We just I love doing it, and I haven't done it. The last time I was on stage like this was the end of 2019, and COVID hit, and that was it. Now, Sal and Joe and Murray have been touring, and they do solo stuff around the country, but I don't. I'm not like a natural. I don't feel like I'm a natural on stage person that calls to me that I got to go do it. But I love doing it with my friends. So for me, I can't wait. This is gonna be the first time in over 3 years that I'm in front of the Impractical Jokers fans and interacting with them and feeling that energy and that love from them and giving it back to them. So I'm pretty excited about it. And especially them hometown shows are you know, doubly special, you know, because it's New York, it's New Jersey. Like the Camden shows are always wild, man. It's like this is probably our 5th time playing Camden in that exact theater, and they're always like, there's something about it. We get to it, and it's like, boom, the energy is just a little different. I don't know. So I'm excited. I can't wait. Like I said, it's been a long time for me. I didn't know if I would ever do it again, and you know, we didn't know if we toured together as a group again, and then we started talking about it, and here we are. And I'm pretty excited. I don't know. Like I said, there's something about that live rush at the stage that I don't know if I've missed it, but now that it's on the way, I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Thanks again. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in live on air with Stephen Quoco on Power 98.5. Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers. Head on over to impracticaljokerslive.com. Get your tickets. All the dates are there. They're going to be really doing this heavy on the East Coast. Once again, they're going to be starting, they're going to be in Pittsburgh, PA, February 2nd, Camden, New Jersey, February 3rd, Boston, February 4th. All these cities, tickets are now, are they still on sale? Do you know, Brian, or what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're on sale. They're especially the Camden show is like an open, it's like weird. It's like one of those things that has like a huge standing room type thing. So tickets are still on sale. They're on sale now. And that, like, we kicked that off this weekend, and then what is it, February 9th, season 10 starts. So, you know, it's an exciting, busy time for us, man. And if you watch the show, you know, trying to support, we could use the support because we really want to do season 11. And the way that's going to happen, I feel, is going to be if people watch the show.
Yeah, well, they're going to. I know I'm going to. definitely you're more than welcome to come on. We can either, get you back on before the show starts. And I want to go over real quick, and big shout out and thanks again to Carson. Let's see here. We've got season 10 returning February 9th, and it's going to be simulcasted across both truTV and TBS. Check your local listings for when it's going to air. Who would you like to give a shout out to, Brian?
Wow, what a great question. I never really give shout outs. I don't know. Everybody. I don't know, the world. I don't really have a shout out. Let's give a shout out to all the vet techs in the world who are doing like the trench work on helping these animals out, vets and stuff like that.
Nicely done. I like that very much. All great things, Brian Quinn. You can go to his Instagram at BQQUINN. I didn't check, but are you TikToking at all?
I have the TikTok thing, but I don't use it. I think it's one of those things that I just don't have I think I'm just too old for TikTok. Although, to be honest, Gatto does TikTok and is great at it, Joe Gatto. So I don't know. I think that when I'm home, I just want to be home. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to get the gumption to be like, I'm not like, hey, here's a peek into my private life and you guys will love it. I'm more like, they get enough of me. I'm on TV 24 hours a day on truTV. I don't know that anybody needs to turn on their phone and see me there either. I don't know.
Brian, once again, can you go over about the Drive tour once again for everyone?
Yeah, guys. I mean, come see us, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I promise, and it's gonna be a fun energy from me because, like I said, I haven't been up there in a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing fans and looking them in the faces and like saying hi to them and stuff like that. And the show is funny. Trust me, you come, it's like our TV show. Come, shut your brain off. Have a fun night. You'll definitely laugh, I promise. And that's it. What more do you want from us? What more are you looking from the Impractical Jokers, right?
Absolutely. And are you guys doing a meet and greet or a press or step and repeat or anything like that where people can get photos?
I don't know. I don't know I know there are some where we're doing them as like contests and stuff like that, but I don't know if we're doing them like selling tickets to that. And stuff like that. That's always something I'm a little uncomfortable with. I always feel weird about like charging money to say hello to me. Mm-hmm. So we're not really doing it too much this time. I don't know. I try and keep things like authentic to who I am and how I feel. And I believe me, I know it's exciting as a fan. But like, I don't know. I've never been comfortable with being like, oh, here, give me your money. Now let's take a picture. I don't know why.
It makes sense. I respect that. Thank you again, Brian. Hold the line. We're going to be closing out. Any closing thoughts, anything else before we head on with our day?
No, I want to thank you for, your time and a pretty thoughtful, interview. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, and it's deserved. Thank you so much. Once again, everyone, ImpracticalJokersLive.com. Tickets are on sale now. New cities have been added. They're starting. Thank you. January 28th, Saturday, Reading, Pennsylvania. All my New Jersey, New York people, ImpracticalJokersLive.com. Reading, PA, Saturday the 28th. Thursday, February 2nd, Pittsburgh. February 3rd, Friday, Camden. And then they're off to Boston. And then Charlotte and Washington back in the Northeast, New Jersey, New York area, Newark, March 10th and more. Remember, all things Power 98.5 Satellite Radio, power985.com. Share with your friends and family. This episode will re-air. Check the local schedule. You can always go to power985.com, and you can either tap in live or click the live music. The schedule is going to be there. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco, we've got Catherine Swain with Catherine Company coming up. We do have a new episode with Alicia Pazzoni. Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, Resilient You with Alicia Pazzoni. This, all and more. And then we also have today, we've got Mike Eccles from Netflix Pressure Cooker. That is on at 11 a.m. Pacific. And I got to do it. 2 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Chef Mike Eccles, Netflix Pressure Cooker Season 1. And then we've got MMA fighter Luke Fernandez, Friday, January 27th, and that's going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day, everyone, and all things Impractical Jokers. Catch up, Season 10. Yes, thank you, team. Yep, Season 10, February 9th. Don't forget, check your local listing, your schedule. truTV and TBS.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.